So, it's a sad, sad day for politics in Nigeria. What a shame. For full-grown politicians to be crying like children. Experienced politicians to be crying like children. That was the scene at the ADC headquarters. You had Atiku, you had Amaechi, you had Aregbesola, you had the cream de la cream of the ADC gathered for one reason: to cry. To cry that INEC has dumped the David Mark faction for another person. What a shame. How can experienced politicians like Atiku, experienced politicians like Rotimi Amaechi, experienced politicians like Aregbesola, how can you guys allow this kind of thing to happen? How? You play into the hand of Tinubu, and then you turn around to cry and say, oh, they want to make Nigeria a one-party state? It is your fault. It is your fault, because a commoner like me predicted this thing 13 months ago first, then 6 months ago. I saw it coming. And I expected that smart politicians or experienced politicians, not so smart obviously, experienced politicians like you guys would have had a plan to prevent this kind of thing from happening. But did you? You took over a party out of desperation. A strategic politician would not have done that. If it meant creating a fresh political party from scratch, that's what a smart politician would have done. And it would have started as far back as 2015. 2015, you didn't do it. 2019, you didn't do it. 2023, you didn't do it. And then when in 2026, all you decided to do was to hijack a party from the back door. I complained about it then. Of course, what did I get? The usual, what do you know? This is what happens when you have politicians who have no regard for the rule of law, no regard for the constitution of a party. And I blame Atiku for this. He believes he can just bulldoze his way through without regard for established constitutional procedures. No regard. Now you say, oh, you have the resignation of all the NWC members. The constitution of the ADC as at then prescribed a procedure. You didn't follow it. You couldn't think of starting another political party. When you had the likes of Professor Nwokobia and other people planning, putting in their effort to register a brand new political party, you guys didn't do that. You didn't do that. And now full-grown men, elderly men, so-called veteran politicians are crying like baby. You played right into the hands of APC. You played right into the hands of Tinubu. Even I would not do that. I don't pity you. The only person I pity is Peter Obi. I don't pity you guys at all. You should know better. I pray and wish you success, that your emotional blackmail of INEC will work. Because it's only emotional blackmail. The protest you are planning is an emotional blackmail to say, okay, they're trying to make Nigeria a one-party state. It's emotional blackmail. On the face of law, you guys, una goof. Una goof. Make we talk true. Make devil shame. Una goof. When a party chairman resigns, the deputy national party chairman takes over. Now, if you say you had the resignation of all the NWC, the proper thing to do was to call for a congress to elect the next set of leaders. That is what Ralph Nwosu is supposed to have done. If, as at the time of resignation, in fact, he didn't even need to resign, he would have just called for a congress. Ralph Nwosu didn't need to resign. The NWC didn't need to resign. They could have called for a congress so that things will be done properly. Now, you say Nafiu Bala resigned. Now, Nafiu Bala has come to say he did not resign, that his signature was forged. Well, I hope it is true that his signature was not forged. Because that's the only way you have something to hold on to. If you can prove that the signature is the same as with other signature, to me, it looks forged. Because if you look at it, somebody is writing a resignation letter. He's using a template. They just leave space for him to write the name with hand. Leave another space for signature. Every other thing, template. No, now. Like I said, I pity Peter Obi. And I pray that your emotional blackmail works and they hand over the ADC back to you. But for me, my advice is simple. Peter Obi, you have 20 days to go to DLA. 20 days before it is too late. 20 days to form an alliance of the people. Many of your supporters, Mr. Peter Obi, are not comfortable with your alliance with these set of people. They are not. Don't let anybody deceive you to tell you that you need the alliance of this set of people to win. You don't. You just need the alliance of the people like you got in 2023. This time around, with better strategy. That's all you need. Again, what do I know? Perhaps I'll get the usual response that I should go and sit down. My mouth is smelling. I should put my mouth in one corner. I will. But I will not just be somebody who complains. I will be part of the solution. Nothing can change without free and fair elections. Tinubu can do good for this country, but he's not doing it because for some reason, some people have something on him. And he has to dance to the tune of those people. Right now, politicians in Nigeria don't see that they need the people to be elected or to return back to office. They don't see it. And all this is because elections are not free and fair. All this is because we leave the elections to INEC alone. In 2027, we must act differently. We must provide parallel vote tabulation across all the polling units in Nigeria. And that is the solution that Vote Watch provides. All you need to do is to visit the website www.votewatch.pro. Sign up and then you are already volunteered as a PU Marshal. With this solution, we do not only guarantee real-time transmission of results from the polling unit, but we guarantee real-time electronic collation direct from the polling units before the results go into the collation gap where abracadabra happens. This way, the result is in the public domain. This is the only way. This is the only way that we can get politicians to start respecting the rule of law, respecting their party constitution. The problem we have had with all of the opposition political party is lack of respect for the party constitution. Labour Party, Abure didn't respect the party constitution. Even the opposition didn't respect the party constitution. PDP, the same thing. ADC, the same thing. Every political party that you have seen that have issues today is because the players, the politicians within that party do not respect their constitution. That's why we are where we are today. But we have to change it. And the only way to change it is vote watch. I wish Atiku well, oh. I wish all of them in the ADC well. And I hope that you are able to wiggle your way somehow out of this mess that you put yourself in. Don't blame APCO. Don't blame Tinubu. Somebody set a trap for you. You were looking at the trap and you opened your eye and walked into it. And then you say we should blame the person who set the trap. We know what their game is. In a free and fair election, Tinubu will lose. We know it. So rather than look for how to play the game and force a free and fair election, everybody is trying to game the system to their own advantage. Atiku, in a hurry to own ADC, disregarded the constitution of the ADC and decided to bring in people through the back door. And then when you talk, he'll tell you, oh, they have bought you over. When you talk, they'll say, oh, what do you know? Insult me all you want. This is the voice of conscience. Your conscience. I have told you, the alliance that Peter Obi needs, Peter Obi is better off with an Omoyele Sowore and AAC. He's better off than with these people in this so-called ADC coalition. And somebody said, oh, are you aware that Deji Adeyanju said that Peter Obi bribed him? What is that compared to what El-Rufai, what Amaechi, what even Atiku have said about Peter Obi? What is that compared to it? Have you forgotten what El-Rufai said about Peter Obi in 2022 here? So if Deji Adeyanju said that, does it mean that they can still not coalesce? They cannot form a coalition? Sincerely speaking, if you ask me personally, I feel that Deji Adeyanju and Omoyele Sowore are just simply pained that with all their contribution to opposition politics in Nigeria, they were overlooked by Peter Obi, who went to go and seek coalition with the likes of the Atiku. If I were Sowore, I would be pained. He's a human being. So if Peter Obi went back to an Omoyele Sowore today, I can guarantee you, Omoyele Sowore will step down for Peter Obi. Because that is the right coalition. All of these things he's saying against Peter Obi, it will stop. So Peter Obi, 20 days to go, 20 days to go. And I'm begging you now, I know you don't need it. You're already a billionaire. But for the sake of Nigerians that are suffering under the draconian policies of this Tinubu and APC administration, please do the needful. Leave ADC now. Go to DLA or go to Sowore. 20 days to go before you cannot move anymore. Remember, April 21 is the deadline for submission of party register. And if your name is not in the party register, you cannot do primaries. So to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Don't join them to be crying, no. Look for a way. Meanwhile, all those of you planning to go and do protests, emotionally blackmail INEC to hand over ADC back to you, I wish you success. It may work, oh. I'm not saying it may not work. It may work. But for me, what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. Like Peter Obi said, if somebody is to be called an excellency, the process that brings that person to power has to be excellent. I cannot say that the process that brought David Mark is excellent. He get K-leg. And that is what the APC is exploiting. Would you blame them? If you had such an opportunity against the APC, would you not use it? So don't blame them. Blame yourself for failing to be strategic, for failing to have a plan, for failing to have your plan have contingency, for failing to have your contingency have contingency. Blame yourselves. But while you're blaming yourself, please tell Peter Obi to go to DLA or talk to Showore. I'm not going to talk past like this. So, most importantly, sign up, be a PU Marshal today. That's the only way to save Nigeria.